Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting ICT plugged activity class. Now why we say plugged activities because in this class we are going to be using codes.org to do our practical. Today we will still continue from what we have been looking at for 2 weeks now, which is variable. And today's topic is changing variables with artists. Now last class we looked at changing variables with B, but this time we'll look at changing variables with artists. Now in this class we'll also look at what variables are, the meaning of constants, some variable blocks, and a practical class on variables with artists. Now when we say variable, I will remind us because variable still remains a placeholder where a piece of information can be changed. A variable is a place where we can keep information, and those information can be called upon and used at any time. A label for a piece of information used in a program can also see a variable as a label for a piece of information that can be used in a program. Now, variables can be like a file. That was what we said in our last class, where you can put vital information. And whenever you just need this command, you just check through the variable and we'll get what we want. And this information can be called at any time. Now we say constant is a variable. It's used throughout a program that never changes its value. Now there's a difference between constant and variable. A variable is a placeholder where files are kept, while a constant is a variable that we can use throughout a program. Now the difference between constant and variable is that variable changes its form. We can edit a variable, but a constant cannot be edited. Unlike a variable, a constant never changes its information. Some blocks that we need in this class is, the first block is the set length block. Now when we say the set length block helps to determine the length of a shape that we are going to draw. The size of the length that is drawn can be readjusted. Looking at the picture on our screen, we can see set length to a variable of 150. So when you have already set that length, any length you put, if you are picking a length variable, it will automatically match the 150 that you are using. So when you are setting a variable you are setting an artist to draw a line of 150, when you just put the variable set length block, it will automatically match whatever length that we are using. The next is the length adjuster. The length adjuster helps to increase or reduce the length of a shape. If you can see on the screen, you will see one of the sections we discussed in our last class, which is the math section. You will see a plus sign. So if maybe you put a length at 150, now using the variable block 150, and we now put the length adjuster plus 10, it will count at 150 plus 10, which is 160. So the next time your artist will be drawing, it will draw at 160. So the length adjuster helps to either increase or to reduce the length of a shape. So all I just need to do if I want to increase it is just to add, using the math section plus and add 10, it will add 150 plus 10, it will become 160. But if I want to minus, I will also use the length adjuster to press minus. It will now be 150 minus 10 will now give you 140. We also have, last but not the least, the length variable. This variable is attached to the length adjuster, just like as we can see, determines the size of a line. Any number we give to our length variable is what it carries. Now we're going to be looking at some practical class to help us to understand what these blocks are used in changing variables with artists. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is code.org. Now, for me to get here, I logged in, putting my 6-letter code and my secret picture, and I went to changing variables with artists. Now, this is the first puzzle in changing variables with artists. Now, this one says, let's start this section by drawing a triangle with pixel of 150 sides. Be sure to use the length variable and a repeat loop. So now they want us to use a length variable of about 150. So what I will do, I'll first of all go to my variable, and I will carry my set length. I want to set a length of 150. Now when I go there, I will go to set length. Let me go to maths. See, I'm clicking here, but I'm going to change here from 55 to 150 because they said we should set our variable length to 150. Okay, now I've already set my variable. It means that the artist is going to be drawing at 150, at 150, at 150. So now they said we should be sure to use our loop. So I'll come to my loop and carry my repeat loop. How many sides does a triangle have? 3 sides, so I'm repeating 3 times. So I'm going to be moving forward at my length. So if I'm moving forward, I don't need to put 150 here again. This length variable already carries this one. So when I say set it at move forward by length, it will move forward by this 150. Now I'm going to also turn to the left by 120, which is for triangle. And let's click on run and see what happens. So you see, I used a variable block to set my move forward. Let's move to the next puzzle. Okay, this second one says rebuild the triangle code from the last puzzle, but this time use the set length to block to reset the length variable to length plus 10 at the end of each loop. Now they say set length to, which is the length adjuster block. They want us to add it to it. The length of the first side is 150. So it means that just this first side is 150, but here and here is not 150. So they want us to adjust it. So the first thing that we need to do is to go to our variable, okay, the set length to block. We'll set it, come to our math and attach it, set it at 150 because which is the first one we're using. 150. Now we'll go to our loop and carry our repeat. Now watch what we are going to do. We are going to move forward at the 150, which is the move forward at length. We are turning left also at 120. But they want us to add another block, which is the set length to block, which is the length adjuster. So we'll come here and carry our set length to block. And we attach it here. Then I'll come to math. I'll carry the variable Then click on variable and carry length. You see, I want to set length. They say we should add plus 10 to it. So I'll come to math and carry my number box and I'll change it to 10. So what this means is that this side is 150, but here is 160. So 150 plus 10 will give you 160. 150 plus 10 again will give you 160. That is what this one is talking about. So if I click on run, let's see what will happen. So you see, this is 150, this 160, this 160. Now let's move to our next code and see what we can do with the code. Wow, this is a harder one, but let's see what we can do. Say this, it's time to make some art. See what happens when you repeat a code from the last puzzle. Now this is the last puzzle, but let's see what will happen. Now we should use it 30 times. So instead of us repeating it 3 times, let's repeat it 30 times to see what will happen from our last code. So I'll click on run, let me see. Let me see what will happen. See, just what I just did was to add 30 from our last code. You can even decide to even add more. Maybe we will have a freestyle section where we are going to do more and more codes. Wow, so you see, it's as simple as this. Using the length adjuster to add it plus 10. So it begins to add plus 10 and add plus 10 and add plus 10. Let's move, click on finish and move to the next puzzle. Yeah, your code from the last block. Now this one says they want us to do a freestyle. But this time, I want to do it 70 times. I don't want to do it 30 times. I want to do it 70 times. But I want to make my own smaller. So I'll change this 150 to, let me say, 40. Yes. Let's see what will happen. Do it smaller. See? Mine is going very small, making my own small. See, it's going to count 70 times. You can even make your own smaller. You can even use 10 to adjust your own, but it will not stop until it gets to 70 times. And some people want to make their own 100 times. That is your business. But everybody is doing their own. Okay, so we'll move to our final puzzle. But I feel that this puzzle is also a freestyle puzzle, so I'll leave you to do that. This is where we'll end today's class. I believe you are able to program using variables. Try to do this on your own at home. Do not forget, coding is fun. See you in our next class. Bye.